This is Chris with Auto Glass Service. We're in Statesboro working on a Toyota 4Runner, and I see this. I just want to point this out because I see this a lot when I'm changing out windshields. This windshield has been done before, and you can see the installation was bad. The installer that put the windshield in probably didn't care much. They didn't pull the cowl panel off the vehicle when they installed this windshield, so all the glue squished out from the bottom, and the cowl panel was actually stuck down to this glue, and it was making it hard to get the cowl panel off. But worse than that is that this glue is out from underneath the glass, and it's not under the glass where it needs to be, making it seal properly. So I'm sure there's going to be some air leaks underneath here, but more than that, there's a situation where this is unsafe. All the glue, looks like every bit of the glue that they would have put in the center is all out from underneath the glass. They didn't take the cowl panel off, and he just squeezed the glass up underneath and squeezed all this stuff out, and none of it stuck under this glass. The next thing is they didn't use the correct molding that goes on this glass. They used a universal aftermarket kind of a generic molding, and this one not designed to channel rain. But you see down here the molding and the glue. So I'm sure that when we take this glass out, we're going to find, if they don't care enough to even take the cowl panel off and put the glass in correctly on top of the glue, I'm sure they didn't care enough to prime the pinch weld and make sure there's going to be no rust. So I wonder what else we're going to run into when we take this glass out. Okay, so I haven't even taken the glass out yet. I'm just trying to get the molding off, and as I'm pulling the molding off from around the side, I notice the glass is not even stuck into the glue. This is what I see too often. See, look, the glass is lifted up out of the glue as I'm taking the molding off. I haven't even cut this glass out. That's terrible. This is awful. Look, the glass is not even stuck. This installation is horrible. This is why, if you're going to get a windshield replaced, you need to do your research. Find a reputable company. Don't go with the look. Just as I pull the molding off, and the glass just comes right out of the car. It should not do this. I can lift like the glass almost all the way out of the car just from taking the moldings off. That's unbelievable. But okay, so I'm going to finish removing this glass, and then we'll take a look at what happens underneath. Okay, so after I remove the glass, here's what we can see. The surface of the glass is contaminated really bad all the way around. There's just dirt, and look, it's just, the surface is terrible. There's the contamination on the glass prevent the urethane from bonding. What little bit of urethane was actually making connection to the glass. You can see the glue on the pinch weld. You see a little bit of glue underneath the glass, but most of it rolled out underneath. See, there's no sense in this. This is awful, terrible. This is what sometimes you get when the installer really doesn't know what they're doing, and they just, you can see, way too much glue in the channel. There's no room for drainage. This glass will not drain, it would just puddle water. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Okay, let me show you something worse than that. If you can get really worse than that. They run the glue so thick and so out of place that they even cover up the VIN number all over the top of the VIN with the glue. And again, this side. The pinch weld even, I mean, there's dirt even all over the fresh urethane at the top. Okay, so we have our work cut out for us on this one. We're gonna have to strip all this down and probably several coats of acid and then primer, and hopefully get this put back together safely. Okay, you see we got the pinch weld cut down, the urethane cut down, and there's a lot of rust. So we're gonna sand this rust down, and then we're going to apply 2 coats of primer. On the bottom, we've got the urethane off of the VIN number, and the way we do that is we go with this, with the fiber stick, with this sharp edge, and we scrape and work the urethane off. Don't ever use like a scraper or a chisel, because you'll scratch these numbers off of the plate. The bottom isn't very rusted up, just minor rust. There's some on that side, and I've already got that off. The drain hole was clogged. I'm going to apply some acid. I'm going to sand this down, put some acid on, and then we'll be back to show you what the rest of it looks like. Up here, you see we have some urethane up here on the pinch weld, and we'll same thing. We'll take this fiber stick and then we'll get it off of there with that, so we don't further damage the pinch weld. Another thing I need to point out is that I can tell that the glass was never decontaminated properly, because the urethane is shiny on this side, meaning the glass was never going to stick well. Oil or some contaminants on the glass was going to cause this to not stick, and it didn't stick. So on the back side where it's dull, where it was sticking to the body, it's stuck okay to the body. It's shiny on this side, meaning that it did not stick. 2 coats of primer to the pinch weld. And we have our windshield decontaminated. We won't touch the edge of the glass from this point after we decontaminate it. The only thing that we'll put on here next is primer. We'll let the primer dry. It's 2 minutes on the dry time, and then we'll run our urethane and reinstall the windshield with a factory installation. The pinch weld is nice and clean. We decontaminate using beta braid. We use the dowel system. Okay, here's what it looked like after we run the urethane. We run a nice bead of urethane as the manufacturer recommends. Nice straight bead. Our bead is far enough away that when the glass set, it'll still have adequate drainage. It can run down the channel and run off the glass. Or run down the channel, run off the body, rather. The drain won't be clogged up this time because the bead is in the position it should be, with the correct manufacturer's amount of urethane it should be. I'll show you what it looked like when we set the at factory set. You see the windshield is set in properly. The tape will come off when we leave. This is 1 hour cure urethane, so we'll take the tape off when we leave. And the bottom of the windshield is set in nice. The urethane is not bubbled out, clogging the drains and running over the top of for the cowl panel. Everything's together like it should be. Okay, I'll show you what the installation looks like when I'm finished. Okay, the installation is complete. The glass is sitting in exactly the way it should be sitting. It has the molding, the correct molding to go with the glass, so everything fits, and the water can run around the pinch welding off the way it should. It should drain correctly now. We cleaned off the VIN number, and now you can read the numbers again. This is the kind of work we do at Auto Glass Service. This job was done in Statesboro, but we do service the Rankin, Savannah, Statesboro, Richmond Hill, Hinesville areas. And if you need to have a windshield done, look us up on the web at autoglassserviceco.com. That's www.autoglassserviceco.com, or 912-508-3009. Thank you for watching our video.